I'm Mesa Ellis, 33 years old and a software engineer in Miami, Florida. That evening, during our family dinner, things felt routine as my mom served the pasta and we talked about my latest project deadline. Suddenly, my dad set his glass down hard and announced, Mesa, it's settled. The investment portfolio goes to your sister now. You've got 2 days to clear out your access and move on. The shock froze me mid-bite. That portfolio packed with stocks our family had built over years was something I'd boosted with $90,000 from my salary coding over time to grow it for my parents' retirement security. I'd handled the apps, monitored trends, even wired funds during market dips to keep it strong. Now they were transferring it all to my sister Holly, who'd blown her chances in Boston chasing vague ventures and returned with nothing but excuses. My mom stared at her plate, twisting her ring. Holly deserves a fresh start, she whispered. She's been through enough. Enough, I'd been the reliable one debugging family finances while Holly vanished for months, only calling when she needed bailouts. My parents always praised her potential, ignoring how I stabilized everything. I kept calm, pushed my chair back, and headed upstairs without a word. They expected me to fold. Wrong call. By the deadline, they'd face the fallout from what I'd uncover. I sat at my desk, fingers ready on the keyboard, mapping my first steps. If this twist floors you like, it did me comment below with your location and the time. Let's count how many are hooked on this mess. The next day, I booted up my laptop right away and called Marigold Cole, my coding buddy from freelance gigs. We'd collaborated on security projects before cracking tough bugs together. Marigold, it's Mesa, I said. Run a trace on my family's investment log, something's fishy with unauthorized access. She jumped in without hesitation. Send the credentials, I'll scan for breaches. As she worked, I recalled how my sister had always gotten the breaks vanishing to Boston for shady deals while I plugged away here. Marigold pinged back quick. Mesa hits on multiple logins from Boston IPs. Your name's flagged as admin, but the withdrawals hit $90,000, redirected to an offshore setup favoring your sister. I thanked Marigold and dialed Zane Ellis, the banker, who'd overseen our portfolio updates last quarter. Zane, pull the transaction history, I instructed. Check for hacks tied to my credentials. He accessed it and reported back sharp. Mesa confirmed cyber intrusion masked as your login siphoning to your sister's linked account. The portfolio's restructured to lock you out. That nailed it. My sister flunked in Boston, but pieces fit she'd tangled in a romance scam there, losing big to a con artist. My parents must have hacked my access to bail her out, concealing it in the transfer to her. I emailed the logs to Chris Ford, my lawyer pal from tech conferences. Chris, this screams cyber fraud, I told him on the call. They used my setup to steal for her mess. Chris reviewed fast. We've got a slam dunk case file for injunction to halt further moves, he advised. Compile your contribution proofs like those salary wires. I gathered digital receipts from my drive's transfers I'd made to pad the stocks. Then the door knocked Grandma Sunflower. My mom's mom appeared with a glare. Mesa, your parents tipped me off. Why stir trouble over the portfolio? She grilled. I stood tall. Grandma Sunflower, they hacked my account to cover my sister's scam fallout. Her face tightened, but she backed them. Your sister's recovering from that bad romance, she merits the help. Blood sticks together. I countered firm. Not through crime, Grandma. She left huffing about duty, but her defense lit a fire. The scam twist clarified their haste, they shielded her blunder at my expense. After Grandma Sunflower left, I dove deeper into the logs on my laptop, running a custom script to map the hack timeline. Marigold had sent me tools for detailed forensics, and I isolated entries showing repeated breaches from a Boston server farm. The code revealed not just withdrawals, but altered permission shifting admin rights to my sister's email. That's when I spotted encrypted notes in the metadata references to payout for silence. I decrypted a sample and found emails bounced through proxies discussing settlements for her mess in Boston. My parents had enabled the hack using my work VPN keys I'd shared once for family emergencies. I captured screenshots and forwarded to Zane. Zane analyzed these for chain of custody, I said. He replied prompt. Mesa, this traces to a device registered under your sister's name. Cyber theft confirmed. Zane's report came in hot, detailing how the hacks bypassed two-factor via spoofed texts. File a police report for identity compromise, he urged. It'll bolster the suit. I nodded and called Chris. Chris, we've got digital footprints, add cyber intrusion charges. He outlined next steps. We'll seek an emergency freeze on the portfolio. As I compiled the script outputs, the door banged open. Grandma's sunflower returned with a USB drive. Mesa, your mom begged me to intervene. She insisted. Take this proof your sister's scam was a setup by that con man. I plugged it in cautiously. Files showed wire confirmations but altered dates to pin blame elsewhere. Grandma Sunflower, this is doctored you're shielding her affair fallout. She admitted partial. The romance was real, but we hid it to save face family legacy matters. I ejected the drive. Legacy through hacking my life. That's betrayal, Grandma. She departed, defeated, her meddling exposed as part of the shield. The affair twist pushed me to cross-check with Marigold. Run a reverse trace on those proxies, I requested. She hacked back ethically and uncovered a chain leading to my parents' old computer logged under my credentials. Mesa, they used your setup to mask as you, she confirmed. Payouts went to a lawyer in Boston settling her debts. I printed the traces and added to the dossier. Chris reviewed remotely. This seals motive premeditated access abuse. Then Yara Hayes, our neighbor next door, knocked with cookies. Mesa, your dad phoned, sounded tense, she said. I shared basics. They're handing the portfolio to my sister after hacking it. Yara frowned. I've seen you logging late nights on that, I'll vouch if needed. I had her sign a quick statement on observed efforts. As she exited, my dad texted threats. Mesa, drop it or face family cutoff. I saved it as evidence. With statements stacked, I met Chris at his firm to formalize. We're filing for restitution and damages, he explained. The hacks violate federal wire fraud laws. I handed the USB from Grandma. This attempted tamper, use it. He scanned it. Tampering charge potential. Marigold joined via call. Traces hold ethical hacks documented. Zane emailed more. Portfolio value dipped from the drains, recovery possible. The session sharpened our angle with Chris assigning depositions. Mesa, prep your timeline. As I left, my sister called furious. Mesa, why drag Grandma into your paranoia? She snapped. The portfolio's mine, fair. I hit back. Fair after your scam drained it via hacks proofs mounting. She hung up rattled. By night, I secured backups on a cloud drive and tested access blocks on my phone. The house phone rang my mom. Mesa, Grandma's upset, rethink this, she pleaded. Your sister's affair was real, we helped quietly. I pressed. Quietly by stealing my investments. That's crime, Mom. She sighed. We thought you'd understand. I ended the call and emailed Chris the recording for logs. Marigold sent final scans, all clean, ready for court. Zane confirmed freezes pending. Hold tight. Yara texted support. Statement sent. The buildup solidified our push, turning their secrets against them. The suit papers were in my bag as I pulled out of the driveway, heading to a storage unit I'd rented online that morning. I unloaded the boxes of equipment first, then called a local moving service for the bigger stuff. I need a crew by noon to haul out some furniture, I told the dispatcher. Address is on file, make it quick. They confirmed, and I drove back to grab more. Yara spotted me and came over with a notepad. Mesa, I wrote up that affidavit like you asked, she said, handing it over. Details your late-night runs for meds and setups. I scanned it and nodded. This'll help, thanks, Yara. As the movers arrived in a mid-sized truck, I pointed out the living room set I'd replaced after Mom's fall and the bedroom adjustments for Dad's recovery. They worked efficiently, wrapping and loading while I labeled each piece as mine. My phone buzzed with a message from Marigold. Sent you scanned records of discrepancies, it read. I forwarded them straight to Chris. Chris met me at the storage unit to review the new batch. These health discrepancies tie the loan to false claims, he said, flipping through prints. We'll argue elder exploitation too, since your parents manipulated the will under pressure from your sister. I added Yara's affidavit to the stack. Serve them today, if possible, I urged. He made a call to his assistant. File it now, priority. While he handled that, Zane texted with bank confirmations. Official docs attached shows transfers to an account in your sister's name, predating the will change. I opened the attachments and saw patterns of small withdrawals over years funneled to Miami addresses. The twist slammed in my parents had been secretly funding my sister's lifestyle long before the kid using household accounts I'd contributed to without knowing. Chris, look at this, I said, showing him. They've been siphoning for her flops all along. He whistled. That's embezzlement adds another count. We'll demand full audit. Back at the house, the movers finished by early afternoon, the rooms echoing empty. I walked through, double-checking for overlooked items like the custom rails I'd installed in the bathroom. Grandma Sunflower showed up unannounced, her car screeching to a stop. Mesa, the movers! You're gutting the place, she yelled. I faced her. Taking what's mine. Grandma Sunflower, the stuff I paid for while you all hid the funding scheme. She waved papers. Your mom sent me to talk sense, sign off, and get a cut. It was another shady offer promising partial inheritance if I dropped everything. That's bribery, I snapped. I'm not backing down. She pleaded. Think of the boy, he's innocent. I shook my head. So was I when they used my name. As she drove off frustrated, my dad arrived storming in. Mesa, put it all back, he ordered. This is for your sister's future. I held up Zane's docs. Her future you funded by dipping into shared accounts. That's why the will flip cover your tracks. He went pale. We had no choice. Chris called as Dad left in a huff. Papers served your parents, got them at home, your sister via certified mail. I breathed steady and headed to his office for the next phase. What's our timeline? I asked. He laid out a calendar. Hearing in 2 weeks, we push for injunction to freeze assets. Marigold joined via video, confirming her statement. The claims were bogus, no matching hospital logs, she said. Zane patched in too. Banks cooperating flagged the transfers as suspicious. The group call turned strategic, with Chris assigning tasks. Mesa, get credit reports to show impact, he directed. I pulled mine up on his computer, spotting hits from the loan inquiries. Then came the twist. Grandma Sunflower had co-signed one transfer linking her deeper. She's not just defending, I told them. She's involved. Chris grinned. Subpoena her turns the family pressure against them. With the team aligned, I returned to wrap up loose ends. The house felt stripped, but I focused on scanning final receipts into a secure folder. My sister called, her voice frantic. Mesa, call off the dogs. This ruins everything, she begged. The boy needs stability. I countered. Stability you built on my back. The audits will show years of secret payouts. She gasped. How? But I hung up. Yara dropped by with coffee. Saw your dad leave, upset, need anything? She offered. Just stand by for court, I said. She agreed. As evening hit, Chris confirmed the injunction filing. Assets frozen pending review. He updated. I locked the door one last time, keys in pocket, ready for whatever pushback came next. The injunction hit like clockwork the next day, with notices delivered to my parents and sister. I got the alert from Chris while grabbing breakfast at a drive-thru. They're served, expect fallout, he warned. Sure enough, as I pulled into work, my sister's car was in the driveway when I swung by the house later. She burst out holding a toddler, the boy from the certificate, thrusting him forward like a shield. See what you're destroying, Mesa, she shouted. He's your nephew, drop this now. I stepped closer. Nephew you hid while Mom and Dad forged docs to bankroll you, that's on you. The kid whimpered and she bounced him. We needed the cash for his daycare after the producer bailed. I crossed my arms. Bailed. Or did you lie about that too? Yara peeked from her window and called out, Everything good over there? I waved her off. Just family talk, Yara. My sister sneered. You'll lose courtside with moms. I fired back. Not when fraud's involved. Chris texted mid-shift with updates. Court date set for next week, prelim hearing on the freeze. I replied quick and focused on patience, but Marigold pulled me aside in the break room. Mesa, your mom's records popped up in a query. Turns out she claimed treatments for the kid under her policy routing funds your way indirectly. I stared. So they used my insurance access too. Marigold nodded. Explains the discrepancies. I'll testify if needed. That twist revealed they'd looped my professional credentials into the scheme, claiming dependent care for the boy as if he were mine to deduct. I called Zane immediately. Check insurance ties to the loan, I said. He confirmed minutes later. Yup. Cross-linked accounts show payouts. I hung up and emailed Chris the details. Add insurance fraud, I instructed. He responded, On it, this buries them. As I left work, Grandma Sunflower ambushed me in the parking lot. Mesa, the boy's dad, is threatening custody if funds dry up, she confessed. Your sister's desperate. I shook my head. Desperate enough to drag me down, tell her to own it. The real clash came that evening when my parents showed up at my temporary apartment, my sister in tow with the toddler asleep in her arms. Dad pounded the door. Open up, Mesa, we talk now. I let them in, papers ready on the table. Mom started. This freeze hurts us all, bills are piling. I pointed to the stack. Bills you racked up hiding transfers for years, Zane's audit shows it. My sister set the kid down and lunged forward. You spied on us, she accused. That's invasion. I laughed shortly. No public records and bank trails, and Marigold's got proof you faked claims using my hospital ties. Dad interrupted. We did it for the family, the boy needed a start. I slammed the folder shut. By stealing my future, that's not protection. That's greed. Grandma Sunflower called, then her voice on speaker. Mesa, back off, the dad's a big shot producer with lawyers. The twist dropped. He wasn't some flake. He was influential, and they'd borrowed to pay him off quietly after a paternity suit threat. So you all colluded to hush a scandal, I demanded. Mom nodded weakly. We had to. Chris arrived unannounced, briefcase in hand. Heard the yelling, thought you might need backup, he said. I nodded him in. Show them the amended complaint. He laid it out. Insurance fraud added felony potential if escalated. My sister paled. You wouldn't. Chris shrugged. Courts decide subpoenas go out tomorrow, including for the producer. Dad tried bargaining. We'll repay some, call it off. I stood firm. Too late, the audit's rolling. Marigold texted support. Ready to testify on the claims. Zane followed with more. Producer's name on a wire links it all. The room tensed as my sister scooped up the boy. This destroys him too, she whispered. I met her eyes. Should have thought of that before forging. Mom tugged Dad's arm. Let's go before it worsens. They filed out, defeated. Grandma Sunflower's calls ignored. Chris stayed to refine arguments. This paternity angle seals motive, he noted. As the hearing loomed, I prepped witnesses over calls. Yara confirmed her slot. I'll tell the judge about your solo support, she said. Marigold rehearsed her part. The faked logs are clear-cut. Zane sent final reports. All admissible shows pattern. The twist deepened when Chris uncovered emails from the producer demanding hush money copied to my parents. Subpoena him, he'll crack, he planned. My sister tried one last plea via voicemail. Meet me alone, I'll explain everything. I deleted it and focused on the stack organizing exhibits for court. Dad texted surrender. Come home, we'll negotiate. I ignored it. Chris wrapped our session. We're locked in, win this, and the will crumbles. I nodded, the pushback turning to their scramble. The hearing kicked off midweek in a packed courtroom with Chris leading our side. The judge reviewed the stack of evidence as he presented. Your Honor, the defendants hacked my client's credentials to drain $90,000 from the family portfolio funneling to cover the sisters' scandals. Chris stated. Marigold took the stand first. As her coding partner, I traced the breaches, spoofed IPs from Boston, no external bots. Zane followed. Account restructures hid the dips, all under forged access. Yara added her piece. I've witnessed Mesa's sole financial support for her parents' care over 5 years. My parents shifted uncomfortably, their lawyer fumbling objections. My sister clutched the toddler, whispering to Mom. The twist emerged when Chris called the producer via remote link. He admitted under oath to receiving payouts, but revealed my parents had initiated contact years ago, claiming the boy as leverage for ongoing support. They promised discretion if I stayed silent, he said. The judge leaned forward. This indicates premeditated fraud. Cross-examination turned brutal. Their lawyer grilled Marigold. Aren't these just clerical errors? She shot back. No deliberate mismatches to route funds. Zane held firm on the audits. Patterns don't lie, embezzlement clear as day. When Grandma's Sunflower testified for them, Chris pounced. You co-signed a transfer, why? Grandma Sunflower stammered. To help the family, Chris pressed. By aiding forgery. The room buzzed as she cracked, admitting knowledge of the paternity threats. Dad jumped up. Enough, we did it to keep peace. The judge silenced him. That's an admission. My sister broke down. Mesa, please, the boy's future. I stayed silent, letting evidence speak. Chris closed strong. This is identity theft, fraud, and exploitation, void the will order restitution. Their side offered a weak defense, claiming good intentions. The judge recessed briefly, then ruled. Will invalidated loan, voided defendants pay damages and fees. Post-ruling, the bank moved fast on the freeze, auctioning the house to cover the debt. I watched from afar as realtors posted signs. Chris called with numbers. You get $40,000 in damages, your name cleared. Zane confirmed credit repairs. Scores rebounding already. Marigold texted congrats. Justice served. Yara stopped by my new place. Heard they rented a tiny unit downtown, struggling. The twist finalized when court docs revealed my parents had favored my sister because of a long-buried family secret. She'd been promised inheritance in a verbal pact from grandparents twisted into this mess to exclude me. Dad left a voicemail. Mesa, we're sorry, come talk. Come. I blocked it. My sister tried emailing about shared custody visits for the boy. He's family too. I forwarded to Chris. Restraining order if she pushes. Mom's letter arrived begging reconciliation. We messed up. I shredded it. With the win secured, I focused on rebuilding. Chris handled appeals, shutting them down quick. No grounds, they're done. The auction cleared the loan, leaving my parents with scraps. Zane reported their accounts drained. Minimal savings left. Marigold invited me to a staff event. Celebrate the victory. I went networking for a promotion. Yara shared neighborhood gossip. Your sister's job hunt's failing producer cut ties. The family scramble intensified. Dad took odd jobs. Mom sold belongings online. Grandma Sunflower distanced herself, her involvement exposed in filings. My sister messaged one last time. You won, happy now. I deleted without reply. Chris wrapped the case. Full restitution, wired, your future's yours. I deposited it and eyed a condo listing. Months later, I landed a senior position at a larger hospital, overseeing shifts and training new staff. The damages payout covered my down payment on a condo near work, with space for a home office. Chris checked in regularly. Any appeals fizzled, your family's stuck with the fallout. He updated. Marigold shared lunch updates. Heard your sister's scrambling for childcare gigs. Zane mentioned account closures. Their credits tanked, no loans approved. Yara forwarded community news. Saw your parents at a food bank linehouse sold to strangers. The twist surfaced via court follow-up grandparents' verbal pact was a fabrication my parents invented to justify cutting me out revealed in asset disclosures as a ploy to favor my sister without taxes. Dad emailed begging for a loan. Mesa, we're evicted, help us. I archived it unread. My sister posted public pleas online about hard times. I reported them as harassment. Cutting ties felt final when I changed my number and address. Chris filed for a no contact order after persistent attempts. Ground solid violation of privacy, he said. Marigold helped with stress management tips at work. Focus on you now. Zane secured my finances. New accounts locked tight. Yara hosted a housewarming. Proud of how you stood up. Gossip trickled in my parents' downsized to a studio arguing over bills. Grandma Sunflower moved away her role in the transfers, costing her reputation. My sister's producer ties collapsed, leaving her solo parenting without support. Mom tried a handwritten note via mail. Forgive us, the secret pact was to protect assets. I returned it unopened. The family drama peaked when records showed they'd hidden more transfers, prompting a separate IRS probe. Tax evasion flags, Chris noted. I declined involvement. Living independently brought clarity. I decorated the condo with fresh starts, joining a local gym and volunteering shifts. Chris wrapped lingering paperwork. Case closed, you're free. Marigold nominated me for an award. Your resilience inspires. Zane invested my restitution wisely, growing steadily. Yara became a close ally, sharing dinners. You've rebuilt stronger. The win echoed when the old house relisted. I bought it anonymously through a trust, renting it out for income. My parents spotted the sale and messaged. Mesa, was that you? I ignored. My sister applied for aid, her posts desperate. Lost everything over greed. The twist closed. The pact lie stemmed from my parents' fear of estate taxes twisting family bonds into theft. Dad's final call went to voicemail. We regret it all. I erased it. That victory taught me hard truths. Family ties don't excuse betrayal, and blind loyalty invites exploitation. I'd poured years into support only for them to forge and hide, chasing favoritism. Standing firm through evidence and court showed self-worth trumps blood. Greed erodes trust faster than anything, leaving ruins. If someone's using you, document it. Seek legal help and walk away strong. Thanks for sticking with my story. If it hit home, share your thoughts in the comments. Where are you watching from, and have you faced similar family twists? Hit subscribe for more real-life dramas, and let's connect over these wild tales.